Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Referrals Podcast listeners, this is Cherie Maher this week, not Michael. So let's get that out of the way. Hey, we are going to do something a little different this week for our Referrals Podcast episode. Each week, I get the chance to listen back or listen through different events and groups and things that Michael was a part of that we recorded the video on. And I came across the recording from it was Cherie Harrington's Mastermind call that she did with her real estate referral network, and it was awesome. And so with her permission, I am going to share the mastermind that Michael was asked to be a part of last week with all of you. So without further ado, this is the real estate referral network call Mastermind from last week. And Cherie Harrington is an agent out of California. And here's their mastermind.
I'm super excited to have and thankful to have Michael Maher on today. And most of you know who he is, but for those of you who may not, he's the author of a book called The 7 Levels of Communication. He's a coach, trainer, speaker who teaches business owners how to use relationships to get referrals. So he does live events, Zoom training, is the host of the Referrals podcast. If you've not listened to that, I highly recommend it. I listen to it when I'm working out. And the thing I'm most thankful for in regards to Michael is his event mastery course. So we're going to talk about that today. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of background on how Michael has impacted my business. So I started full-time with real estate 8 years ago. I have a very strong corporate background. I am very systems and processes oriented. When I first started out, I was in the KW training and they're like, okay, you need to cold call, you need to door knock. And that was not me. I hated it. It's so not my style. And I would waste so much time sitting in my car or in front of my dialer for extended periods of time with like crazy high anxiety. It's giving me anxiety right now thinking about it. And so I knew I needed to make a change. I left a very lucrative 31-year corporate career. And I was like, oh my God, like every day I feel like I'm going to puke. I don't want to do this. I have to find a better way. So I had attended an in-person training at a nearby KW office where Liz Johnson was there talking about the Perk Your Sphere program. So I took super detailed notes and I'm like, this is it. Relationships have always been my forte. And this is what I need to do for lead gen. So shortly after that, my lender at the time had handed me this book right here, 7 Levels of Communication. So if you have not read this, read it. I read it again, and then everything just kind of started sinking in. And I was like, okay, if I can take this Perk Your Sphere program and implement all these 7L things into it, like this is what I'm going to do. So I implemented Liz's Perk Your Sphere program and I started doing events, and I didn't know what I was doing because the Perk Your Sphere program doesn't teach you anything about events. It just tells you to do it. But I was like, okay, this is cool. People are showing up. I'm a planner, so those events were giving me high anxiety because there was no system behind it at that point, but I was doing it. And then I heard about the event mastery course. So I'm like, okay, I need to double down on this and figure it out. So before event mastery, I did a pie event. I did a couple wine tastings, and like I said, no structure, and I paid for everything. And then after event mastery, I've done some really cool over the top large events for my MVPs, and they are loving it. So I did a yacht, what do you call it? Like a cruise around San Diego Bay on a yacht with 66 people on it. That was my most expensive event. I did a Top Gun viewing at Sinopolis with over 100 people. We had our own theater. We've done comedy events, and most recently with the comedy events, we've been able to get our own room and our own comedian, which is really, really so much more fun that way, because then they can make it all like real estate related, and you can tell them some things about the guest, and they'll work that into their skit or whatever you want to call it. But that was really cool. And I think the coolest thing about all of this is that these are costing me thousands of dollars and I'm not paying a dime for them. My sponsors are paying, and some cases I'm actually making money off the events. So
You need to repeat that, Cherie.
I am making
Yeah.
money off these events and they're not costing me a dime. And that is so cool. Um, my my another big thing for me is that they're very structured now. Like I have an absolute path to every event. I know exactly what I'm doing, the 8 touches and all of that, and it's all laid out for me, so I don't have to freak out. Oh my God, did I even tell people this was happening? No one's going to show up. So now we have structure. We're getting a lot of referrals. My highest amount of referrals that I've received at an event was 69, which is amazing. My sponsors are coming to me now and they're like, how many events are you having this year? Are you still taking Venmo? And I charge $500 per event for each sponsor. And it's just like, whatever, stroke you a check for 2,000 for the year. And they're all in. So I want to thank you, Michael, for impacting my business for the better. And thank you for being here today to share your wisdom with my referral partners from across the country. And I will turn it over to you.
I don't know if anything else needs to be said. I mean, you dropped
Summed it
the
up.
mic, Cherie Harrington. Just drop the mic. So I love that. The only thing, I mean, like I got to go into coaching mode a little bit with you, just as your coach, is you got to raise the price on your sponsorships, right?
Well, they
You've
were
got
250. I was doing
demand.
250, and then I'm like, I'm going to double it. And that was last year. And I'm like, oh crap, if I double it, are they going to say no? But they didn't. They were like, okay, so maybe
Yeah.
maybe it's
Yeah.
750.
Time to double it.
I don't
Time
know.
to double
Yeah,
it again. I'm
exactly.
excited for you.
Yeah,
That's what
thank you.
happens when you get momentum and they start seeing the value that, you generated 69 referrals for yourself, but you've also generated hundreds for your sponsors.
Well, those
That's
were for the
what's,
sponsors and
yeah,
myself
yeah,
for that one event.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So, I mean, 69, I mean, in San Diego, one referral is
a lot
major
of
league,
money.
right?
Yep,
So,
yep.
well, the first thing that I want to do is I want to help you guys get referrals on future Zooms. Would you guys be open to that?
Mhm.
All right. So the first thing you need to do is change your name. Now, don't change it to Michael J. Maher, right? Keep your own name. Trust me on that. The last name is misspelled often and it's missaid almost as much as it's misspelled. But you're going to rename yourself on Zoom. From now on, you need to put your name and your URL, or your name and your location and your URL, right? So at the bottom, I see some people that have the location, but it's like, it'd be great if I knew a website, right? And don't use the www dot. You don't need that anymore. Welcome to 2025. Um, but, and you want extra points? If it's your name.com, you're going to get extra points, because then you can do charlenebays.com, Virginia, DC, and I've got everything I need to know to refer you. And you might think, Michael, that seems really small and really silly and really simple. And first of all, I'm going to underwhelm you with my intelligence throughout this hour. And number two is I want you to know we have dozens of people who have gotten referrals on nationwide Zooms simply because they had their name, location, and information in their name. If you don't know how to change your name, you just hover over your name, you hit right click, and you click rename at the very bottom, and then you can type in your information, right? So Cherie gets extra points, right? Harrington Group Realestate.com says it all, right? So that's my first lesson, and that's what I'd like to leave you with here today. So thank you. Hopefully you've had a good time. I'm here to help. So, all right. So here's the way that I'll lay this out. I want to make sure there's always questions on events. There's always questions on events. So I'm going to go through 15 quick ways to party your way to success. Okay. Real quick, just give you 15 quick things to make sure you're doing right. Then I've got a good solid component here for you to ask your questions, right? So you just have to promise me you're going to leave the phone off for like 20 minutes here, 30 minutes, and you're going to give me some focus. It's so hard in today's world, right? Is you've got this going on, you've got this going on. Just, I promise you it'll be worth it if we get 30 solid minutes out of you. Some of you are going to get referral just by changing your name on future Zooms. I'm telling you. All right. So I'm going to share my screen. All right. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for saying yes. I'm going to move the bar so it's out of our way. Whoops. There we go. All right. So 15, you don't need to know who I am. All right. So I'd love for you to subscribe to Referrals Podcast. Cherie Harrington has been a guest. Here's the deal. Do event mastery and we'll have you as a guest on Referrals Podcast. We have over 500,000 downloads. Right now, it is the #2 podcast in real estate behind Bigger Pockets. We are catching them very quickly. I'm very excited about that. They had a change of host, and the only way we're going to change host is if I die. So hopefully that doesn't happen. All right. So 7L is still a bestseller. We've been #1 in real estate sales. We literally just were #1 during the holiday season. Ladies and gentlemen, this book has been out for 12 years. 12 years. And you guys continue to recommend it and sell it and help people with it. I really, really appreciate that. You can get it at the bookonreferrals.com. I'm not going to worry about RMS. So here's kind of how I came about to what I truly believe is the #1 lead generation tool in the world. And, it's like, all right, what's the best piece of direct mail you could ever send? Right? What's the best piece of direct mail? Right? We talk all the time. I need to mail my sphere. I need to mail my farm. I need to mail, I want to go after people with a direct mail. Well, what's the best? Right? And then I was like, all right, what's the single best thing you could ever write in a handwritten note? Right. And then it's like, all right, what's the single best thing you could ever email to your database? We know market reports aren't getting opened. We know that, newsletters aren't getting open. We know that things aren't getting open. People aren't reading their email as much. What is an email that they'll actually open and engage with? And then what is the single best video? Everybody's talking about video. You should do video. You should do video. I have a face for radio. So video has not been less necessarily the way I want to go, but this is a video that even I can do. And it is the single best video you could ever do for your database, for your social media, for your text messages, for your emails. A video is a pretty universal tool that you can use in a lot of different ways. And I'm going to actually tell you what the single best video you could do is. The best Facebook private message, the absolute best text message you could ever send. I think maybe the best text message is clear to close, right, from your lender. But the absolute best text message you could send someone in your sphere for them to engage and be attracted to you. And then what is the single best phone call? How this actually all started is I had a group of clients, 100 clients that were my top big paying clients. And they said, Michael, it'd be really cool if you could put together like a poster of all the great reasons or excuses to call someone in your sphere. And so I started putting that together and one kept coming up, #1. This is the best. This not even close. Oh my God, this is it. And so I'm going to share with you the single best phone call you could ever make. The single best thing you could ever mention at a one-on-one. And here's the thing, the #1 single best reason to contact your database. So here's the thing. Now, we all think of those marketing pieces or communication devices as different. What if I told you that all of those was the same thing? the one thing. And it is. The perfect phone call, the single best piece of direct mail, the best handwritten, the number one single best reason to contact your database is an invitation to your event, an invitation to an event, right? It is the number one communication that you can send out. Why? Is because it is naturally attractive, and whether they say yes or no, it begs for future communication. So I wrote 7 levels of communication. This is the 7 levels of communication pyramid. But the secret to maximizing referrals is a one-to-many strategy involving events. So I'm going to give you 15 quick ways to party your way to success. And I'm going to go really fast. So if you want to jot these down, that's great. If you just want to sit there and kind of go through them, that's fine. But at the end, we'll have some question and answer and get your questions answered. Number 1, the first rule of client appreciation events is don't call them client appreciation events or client appreciation parties. So the word client, number 1, all right, you got to mute somebody there. So number 1 is it kicks in RESPA, and we don't want to involve RESPA in our events. Number 2, it's exclusionary by nature. Here's the thing. Do you want your clients there, or do you want your top referral sources there? Which is a better event to have, past clients or current referral sources? Well, we know the answer. The answer is current referral sources. The truth is your referral sources may not be clients. And in fact, in our research, most of the time, an agent's top referral source will typically be a great referral source before they even do a transaction with them. So we don't call them client appreciation events. We don't call them client appreciation parties. We call them something cool, like Nacho Average Happy Hour, or I Love You Latte, or Thanks a Latte, or Springfest, or Fall Fest, or the Great Pie Day Giveaway, or blah, blah, blah day at the ballpark, right? Or Bowling and Brews, or Barks and Brews, or Bark in the Park, or whatever it may be. Give it a good name. Number 2, how do we decide which type of event to host? Well, a lot of times we just come up with it ourselves, and all of a sudden we're sitting there and nobody's wanting to come to our event. Well, what we need to do is, we need to follow the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire strategy. And the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire strategy is, remember, when you didn't know the final answer, what did you do? You had 3 lifelines. It was 50-50, phone a friend, and poll the audience. So here's the thought. What you do is you narrow down your choices to 2, 3, or 4, and then you call the 10 or 15 people who would most like, that you would most like to come to the event. These are high energy, high friendly, high fun people. You're going to call and ask them and say, I'm thinking about doing an event, and here's what I'm thinking. Get their ideas, get their advice. Please notice the power of that is that when they give you their advice, they're actually giving you their buy-in as well as their advice. You automatically have, if you call 15, 10 of them are going to be coming to your event. You've already got people invited. You've already got people coming to your event, and you haven't even done the event yet. You haven't even put together the details. Also, poll your audience, right? So you would email your sphere, email your database. If you have a Facebook group, you could email or you could post it in a Facebook group. But you actually, right, do a poll. You're going to just say, hey, I'm thinking about doing a happy hour on a Friday night. I'm thinking about doing a coffee event in the afternoon, or I'm thinking about doing a wine and cheese. Which of those 3 are you most likely to come to? And they tell you. So you don't necessarily have to choose the event. I don't know which type of event. I don't know which type of event for you either. Right? People all the time are like, Michael, we generated 10,000 referrals during our fall session of Event Mastery, 10,000. And they're just like, so what events did you do? And it's like, they did 500 different events. And the thing about it is that A, every event is different, but B, is the best event that you can have is the one that your sphere will think is the most fun. You might want to write that down. Your sphere will think it's the most fun. Well, how do you know? You got to ask them. What do you got to do to ask them? You've got to communicate with them. And guess what? There's your touch. So you be you, right? Do events you love, do fun events. I'm going to repeat the fun theme throughout this whole thing. I have funleadgeneration.com. You can check it out anytime you want. Funprospecting.com, same thing, goes to what we do. I believe that you will do it more if it's fun. All right, whether or not, I'm just going to bottom line this one for you. Anytime you can exclude the weather from the equation, do it. So, bark in the park, you're going to need to have a shelter. If you are doing, oh man, let's see, what else? Outdoor event. Here's a pool party. Make sure that they've got a shelter or they've got a place for you to go if the pool party. Now, can you do a rain out and reschedule? Honestly, sometimes that's the best thing that could ever happen to you because you get another 7 or 8 weeks or 4 weeks to promote the event. But the bottom line is don't let weather be a factor, or at least, you would never do a Super Bowl party outside, most likely, right? So there's things movie event inside, lots of great things that you can do. San Diego is probably the exception on here. You can basically do anything you want any time of the year, and we hate you. I'm just kidding. All right. Partner with a charity or nonprofit. You've got to have a charity element involved in your event. Listen, what does it cost you to put on the invitation and tell people, hey, bring a blanket or coat for the vets and pets? It doesn't, and that's just one example. It doesn't cost you anything to do that. You have a space at your event for them to drop the blankets or drop the coats or drop the dog food or drop whatever they want to bring, canned food, toys, you name it. And guess what? Here's the thing. You collect 100 toys for Tots. Who wins? So the person bringing the toy wins. You know that, right? Because they got a chance to give, and it was probably, something they might have had that they just hadn't given away for Christmas or whatever it may be. And so they gave, and they feel good, even if it's a $20 toy. And you win because you collected 100 toys and you're giving 100 toys to, let's say, Toys for Tots. Toys for Tots win. And then the kids win, right? Trust me, the people at Toys for Tots, Toys for Tots. If they are, they're not keeping those toys. I'm just telling you, right? They're not a bunch of CEOs up in the CEO White House and playing with toys, right? They are giving 100% of those toys away. So bottom line, it costs you nothing. It gains you everything. Welcome to the generosity generation. Number 6, make sure you partner with sponsors. You've got to partner with sponsors. Do your event. People want to get involved. They want to help you. They want to invest. You're putting an event together, and guess what? You're doing the hard work. So they are willing for you to do the hard work to be a part of that event. I think the easiest thing you can do for an event is get sponsors. I really believe that. The power is in the invitation. Please understand that it's not just about the event, right? You're going to have 7 or 8 weeks where you are communicating with your sphere and they want the communication. When they say yes or they say maybe, you have gone from them being annoyed by your communication to now you're just being professional by communicating and over communicating on the way to the event, right? They want you to communicate with them because details are coming out. They want to know all the details. They want to know what to wear. They want to know when to show up. They want to know what to bring. They want to know how much it is. So guess what? You actually get permission to, what if we could combine the best of the 8x8, right? The 8 touch in 8 weeks, and we could combine the best of the 33 touch program. Well, that's literally what an event is. The attendance is in the confirmation. I will tell you, I learned this my second year in real estate. I did housewarming parties for every buyer who bought a home through me. We were getting about 50% of the people to show up at the housewarming parties. I hired a certified meeting planner to help me do the events because I was so busy. I did 87 transactions my second year. I did 37 my first, 87 my second, 187 my third, over 200 after that, and it got over 500, 600 referrals a year. So the attendance is in the confirmation. She said, well, you're not confirming the day before and an hour or two before or the morning of. And I'm like, no, no, I've been busy doing stuff, right? And she's going, all right, we started getting 90%, and ladies and gentlemen, we started getting over 100% attendance from the RSVPs. If 50 people RSVP'd, we would end up with 52 or 55 people at the event, just because we did confirmations. You got to have a registration table. I could literally sit here and speak an hour on the power of a registration table. I'm not going to do that. But one of the most important reasons is just the important first impression, first start. And one really big reason is it funnels the energy and allows you to take control over the attendee's experience. Have a what's the opposite of that? They come in and wander around. If you have a registration table, it funnels the energy. It gives them somewhere to go. It gives them confidence, and it allows you to take control of their experience. Number 10, have a referral system or 3. One example, the one that I know Cherie uses the most, by the way, one is the RSVP system, one is the follow-up survey, but the one that Cherie's used the most and our clients have used the most, I think it's literally 1/3 the best, right? I truly believe all 3 of them are the best, but having a door prize entry form that generates referrals for you is one of the most awesome strategies I've ever developed. And that, I think, is saying something in the referral world. So they're going to enter it. They're going to notice at the bottom of this, they're going to give 3 names, right, of who they're going to refer. That's one example. Another example, she has 10 sponsors. So I want you to notice the top part is for data. This is for agent referrals. And then notice, are you thinking of buying, selling, or investing in real estate, right? So yes or no. So they get to self-select. We call those me's. You can have referrals, which are people referring out. And then there's people that I want to do that. So these are capturing the me's. Have you ever considered a career in real estate? Please notice that she is looking to recruit. Are you interested in getting cash out of your home? Lead for the lender. Are you interested in a wealth building consultation? Lead for the financial planner. Do you need home, office cleaning, and or landscaping service? Yes, right? Is your septic tank in need? And by the way, her septic tank cleaning, they give her $10,000 a year for events. Do you need professional photography services, right? Do you need fast printing? Do you need home repair, computer repair? And then how can we help you or connect you today? Open-ended question that they can just write in their answer, right? Who can we connect with you? Positioning yourself as a connector in the community. All right, number 11, make sure you take photos and get videos. Why? Because then that event will live forever. That's it, right? Take photos, get videos. You can do anything you want with those, and they become really, really powerful. Nothing like the pictures from the housewarming parties to sell current clients on doing a housewarming party. When they see all the fun everybody's having, all the smiles and that kind of thing, guess what? They want to do one themselves. The fortune is in the follow-up. Make sure you do follow-up, 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 follow-up. In Event Mastery, there's actually 7 groups of people we need to follow up with. I go through each of those 7 groups and tell you exactly what to do to maximize referrals from that follow-up. Number 13, get event insurance if you need to. Just check into it. It's extremely inexpensive, and it just gives peace of mind to people who may worry more about liability. I just want you to know, I did events for 10 years without event insurance and never had a problem. But once the events got bigger and we got into more of a litigious type of environment, I got eventhelper.com. And by the way, I have no connection to eventhelper.com. I wish I did. I wish I had an insurance company that did insurance on events. I'd probably make a lot of money doing that. But eventhelper.com for your event insurance. Oh, on number 13, I just want you to know something. You need to write this down. No, period. Bouncy, period. Houses, period. No bouncy houses. Did you all write that down? No bouncy houses. Okay. I'm just telling you. No bounce. And we can go over that a little bit later. All right. The other thing is don't just have one event. I believe the number one biggest mistake agents make, and actually this isn't just agents, I consult with 100 different businesses, but the number one biggest mistake is having 0 events. The second biggest mistake is having one event and just doing one, because you don't get the advantage of momentum. Momentum is a big power when it comes to referrals. You get momentum with referrals, and I'm telling you, it's the most beautiful thing in the world. So have a series of events planned out. And you could do that right now, right? We're in February. You could easily have an event in April, easily have an event in July, and easily have an event in November. And by the way, I teach event mastery, March and April, June and July, and October and November. All roads lead to somewhere. You need to have, like, where are you going to, you could funnel them to your CRM, just so you know. I'm a real fan of leading your sphere to a Facebook group, because of, I'm telling, Facebook groups are kind of the future of Facebook. They're really, really pushing some tools that are like, instead of your personal profile and you've got 5,000 friends and it kind of all point, you're going to see Facebook really step into circles of influence and Facebook groups. So you might as well get ahead of the pack. Quickly, 15 ways to thrive in 2025 with events. The first rule of client appreciation events is don't call them client appreciation events. Remember the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire strategy anytime you don't have the final answer, right? The 3 lifelines. Do events you love to do. Focus on the fun. Have fun. Whether or not, don't let weather be a factor in your event. If you want referrals, partner with charities. The most referred person that you know is probably the most generous person you know. Number 6, making money. Is there any lead generation strategy where you can make money making money? You make money because of sponsors or admission or finder's fees, and then you make money on the referrals and the clients that you generate. The power is in the invitations. Invitations equal touches, equal referrals. Many times people get referrals before the event even happens because they understand the powers in the invitation. Kill the flyers, right? Long live the invitation. Make sure that you do an invitation. Have them RSV ASAP. Number 9, have a registration table, name badge, door prizes, entry form. Have a referral system, or 3. The one that I went over was door prizes and door prize entry form. Remember to take pictures. Remember to get videos. The fortune is in the follow-up. Make sure that you've got a 3 or 4 weeks to follow up from your event. Get event insurance if you need it. And then 14, you can't eat just one, right? Pringles or Oreos, however you want to look at that. But really, once you do an event, you're going to want to do another one. And the key to this is doing 3 events a year. Create a Facebook group community. All roads lead to the Facebook group. That gives you a natural follow-up. It also gives you the place to go invite the people to your next event. All right. So we have Event Mastery. I can tell you a little bit more about that. Bottom line, at eventmastery.com, we do guarantee referrals. You show up to the class, you run the 3 referral systems, you will get referrals. It's guaranteed. If you don't get a referral, then guess what? We'll give you your money back. But you got to show up and you got to grow up so that you can go up. And you got to attend and you got to run the system. If you run the system, you do the power plays, you will get referrals. Oh, can I show you this? By the way, I want your opinion on this. I want you guys to tell me what you think. This is brand new. Literally, Cherie hasn't seen this. And you know what? There's people at Referco who haven't seen this. All right, you got to tell me what you think. I really want to know what you think.
How many referrals did you get at your last event?
My last event, I had about 80 people attend, and we got 140 plus referrals.
I received 17 referrals of people buying or selling.
I generated 28 referrals for training and coaching and speaking.
How many referrals did you get at your last event? What if you could get referrals guaranteed? There are lots of reasons to have an event. Making connections, helping charities, partnering with sponsors, having fun, staying top of mind. What if lead gen could be fun? What if making phone calls could be fun? What if follow-up could be fun? The number one reason to do events? Referrals. Documented referrals. So how do you do that? Announcing EM class. This 8-week program offers step-by-step guidance on planning mastery, invocation mastery, charity mastery, sponsor mastery, marketing mastery, social media mastery, confirmation mastery, event mastery, follow-up mastery, and referral mastery. Why wait? Sponsor filling fast. Don't miss this opportunity to party your way to success. Enroll now at eventmastery.com. Limited spots available. Secure your place today.
All right. So this is what we cover in Event Mastery. All of those we cover at a high level. I'm telling you, I will give you a marketing MBA during Event Mastery because my MBA is in marketing. And it's one of those where I'm going to teach you in 10 minutes, literally, like how to attract anybody you want. In several cases, people get referrals from strangers during Event Mastery, just so you know. Use the code referrals200. That gets you 200 off of the retail price. I hate discounts, but I'm just telling you, I love Cherie. So there you go. That's all I've got. I've given it all she got.
That's a lot.
So yeah.
That's a lot.
I would love to help. Let me know what I can do. But any questions about events? Cherie, anything, and I do want you guys' opinion on the video. I want to know what you guys thought of that. So, Cherie, any kind of words of wisdom or kind of a
Yeah.
wrap up from those?
Yeah, I'm gonna, if you guys want to or raise your hand, maybe that'd be easier because we have a lot of people on and we can get some questions out there, but just a couple things, nuggets that maybe I forgot about were planning events that your people want to go to, not what you want to throw. So the last 2 years I've done, and I can send this out to you guys if you want to see it, an end of the year survey. It's just a Google form, just saying I'll list out like 15 events and then put a line for them to fill in their own, like which ones do you guys want? And then for my sponsors and my insurance agent broker, he does all of my events. So I'll say, do you need an updated insurance quote? Do you need to refinance your home? What are your real estate goals? So I have about 250 people in my MVP group, and I usually get about 100 responses back. And I offer them a $500 Amazon card for their time. So they get me the information back. And the last 2 years, that's how I've known what events to throw so that I make sure that it's what they want. I think the charity tie-in is big. I totally forgot about that. I have one charity that I use every time, Solutions for Change, and they're fantastic. I'm probably going to be on their board now. I just met with them a couple of days ago. I've gotten very involved with them. And now all my people are like, what are we doing this time? What are we collecting? What do you need? So they know every time that they're going to bring something, and we get a huge response for that. The housewarming parties, totally forgot about that. Oh my God. If you guys haven't done a housewarming party for your buyers, you're missing out. It is freaking awesome because you don't even have to like put a realtor tag on or anything. You're just gonna throw them the party and they're automatically gonna say, Cherie's my realtor. She was awesome.
Right.
She did this, she did that. And you're gonna have everybody's information by the end of the party. Plus, you're going to do the registration table and you're going to do some kind of giveaway. So you're going to gather all of their info. And along those lines, the door prize registration form, 100% changing of an event. That's awesome. What else? I made a bunch of notes. The powers and the invitation. So I've talked to a lot of people in my office about doing this system and they're afraid. They're like, no one's going to show up. I'm scared no one's going to show up. There's no way that nobody's going to show up if you follow the system and you do the 8 touches. Now, if you don't do the 8 touches, yeah, there's a good chance. If you
You mean
just
if you don't invite people, people won't show up? It's like,
exactly.
yeah, if you don't invite people, people won't show up. That
Yep.
is almost a guarantee. Yeah.
Exactly. And the 8 touches are the biggest part of it. It doesn't mentally, it's hard to grasp, but it doesn't matter how many people show up at the event. It's the 8 touches. And I did have a client that was going through a marketing class. This is about a year ago. And he sent me a text and he's like, I see you. I see what you're doing. And I'm like, what? And he's like, you're reaching out like 8 times. So he was learning that in his marketing also. So they get it. And just, I feel like being the connector for me is a big deal in my community and all the Facebook groups I'm on. So I love that part of it. And then just one more thing, and then I'll shut up. The video and the photos, huge. So every state is different, but my escrow company is privately owned. So they are allowed to help me with this stuff. So she provides me with the videographer and the photographer. And at first it was a little uncomfortable. It felt a little paparazzi-ish, but people love it because then when I get all the photos back, I'm going to dump it onto that Facebook group. And then I'm going to send it out to each individual person who's in the photo. I'm like, here's a photo of you guys at my event. And then here's the video. And it's all on my website. And this stuff is gold, you guys. I would pay, I don't want to say this.
Hey, be
I
careful.
would pay $5,000 to take this.
Let's go. Price change happening.
Yeah,
as we
right,
speak.
exactly.
You
But
know
the
how
first-
much I hate discounts.
I know, and
right?
I'm cheap, I will just say, and I hate to pay for anything. But after I took this, I was like, I mean, it paid for itself and it's in my first event. And now I'm, like I said, I'm actually making a little bit of money off each event, which that's pretty cool. That just helps me buy more gifts for my people throughout the year because that's my whole business model is the giving and, rewarding the people that help me with my business. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Sorry, I'll open it
So
up.
the course is $997, just so everyone knows. And it's
Totally
$200 off if you use referrals 200.
That's
For
awesome.
$797, that's 2 months of coaching. I mean, just so you know. And like Cherie said earlier, like my MBA is in marketing. I wrote a thesis on marketing that is still like shared as a white paper. And I'm not bragging, right? I just love this stuff. I'm very passionate. But what do you want in marketing? You want frequency and consistency. Well, most agents do wrong is the consistency, right? A lot of them do the frequency okay. They do a monthly report or whatever it is. But what are you consistently talking about? What is the message? Well, in event mastery, it doesn't get any more frequent and consistent because it's all about an event. So it all makes sense to the consumer. So I'm just saying it. And then the follow-up stuff that we do, I think, one of those that makes it kind of the no-brainer. You're going to get as many referrals after the event as you do at the event if you run it right. So
And before with the touches too. Sometimes I'll be texting to remind and they're like, oh, can I bring my friend? They're thinking about buying a house. Oh, you sure can. Bring them.
Yeah. That's the best, the bring a friend strategy, which is in session 6, right? And then I have someone strategy. How do you increase attendance? One of the things you do when you confirm is I have someone that I want you to meet at the event, right? And make sure you do have someone you want them to meet, even if you can't maybe think of them at the time. But it's like when they get there, it's like you put them together and you connect them. They're gonna come to the event because you have someone there that you want them to meet. So, I'm just freaking on fire about events right now. I truly believe it's the greatest lead generation you can do on the planet. So, you got hands up.
Yeah. Let me see. Charlene.
Hi, Charlene Bays.
Hey,
We've known each
Michael.
other a long time.
Very long time. I just want to share with you all. Last March, I had a client that bought with me 16 years ago, here in Northern Virginia, a federal agent. And when he told me he was going to Missouri, I went, I know just the person to call. And Michael came to my mind, sort of Cherie, like people in our group. And I called Michael. He answered the phone. My client was thrilled. And he referred me to someone that to this day has been terrific. So I just had to share with you, I am going to sign up for your events mastery class because I've taken other courses with you and I have made a lot of referrals because of it. Thank you.
Well, Charlene, here's what I'm going to tell you. So thank you for, first of all, thank you for the referral. And the other part of that is I've taught a lot of classes, 30 mornings, sweet dreams, on rituals, on one-to-one networking. Event mastery is the best thing I've ever put together. And like, it's better than 7L. And that, I mean, like, I, I'm so driven by this right now. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Carmen.
Hi. Yeah, so our issue is when we do some events, how do we actually get, because I've done the housewarming party for our buyers, but how do we actually get them to give us their info? So how are you getting the referrals?
Yep.
Because people will always say, oh, I'll give them your number.
Yep.
But giving them our number, they never call us, right? We need to capture their info. So how do you receive those at the events? How do you receive the info?
All right. So I just want everybody to know, housewarming parties are kind of over here, and then lead generation events are kind of over here. I just want to make sure mentally I'm not talking it like in March, I'm going to teach you event mastery. It's going to be about you hosting a fun event for not just one client, but everybody in your sphere. So I want to get that right. Now, on housewarming parties, the key is to introduce it early. So I do a buyer's consultation with every single buyer who ever buys through me. And at that consultation, I just let them know that part of the process with working with me is a consultation, showing homes, writing offers, getting a contract, doing inspections, having a closing, and then you're going to do a housewarming party 45 to 60 days after your closing. And then we have a wealth building consultation that happens 90 days after your closing. And then they go, okay, I'm in, right? Once they're in, once they start working with me, then the housewarming party is just part of the system. It's part of the process. So that's the first thing. So I introduce it early. 2 weeks before closing, we do a how are we doing call. So we call them and I say, hey, how's the lender doing? How's the, have you heard from the title company? And I know 100% certain they haven't heard from the title company. So, I get some, and then I say, now you need to send me everyone you would want to send a change of address notice to. We're going to do that for you. So we get all their, and they say, well, I'm not sure. Hey, do you have a Christmas card list? Who do you send Christmas cards to? Just send us your Christmas card list and we'll send a change of address to all of those people. And then when the housewarming party comes up, we'll invite all of them to your housewarming party. That's 2 weeks before closing. If you try to get their data after closing, it's almost impossible, right? They're moving. They've moved. So 2 weeks before closing, they haven't touched a box. I'm just telling you how most people are. They, then for the last 2 weeks, they're like, oh crap, we probably got to move our stuff, So that's my 2 cents on that, Carmen.
Okay, so that's on the housewarming party. But like at these events, like Cherie, how did you capture those referrals? Like how did they give you the information?
Yeah, there's 3 ways to do that. Oh, so Cherie, yeah, go ahead. Sure.
No, I was just going to say the door prize entry form is, and that he teaches that in the class, but you're going to have a registration desk. You are not going to man it. Like I have my lender and my title person man the registration desk because you want to have time to talk to your people and not deal with that. And then like all my people know, like you don't get past that registration desk. You don't get your drinks for the comedy club. You don't get your tokens for the popcorn. You don't get anything till you sign in. So they register and then they're gonna it's gonna say, who do you know that needs flooring? Because I have a flooring contractor that does every event. Who do you know that needs a updated quote on their homeowner's insurance? So they're gonna check that box, yes, yes, no. And who do you know that's gonna be purchasing a home, or are you gonna be purchasing a home, whatever. It's a template, and then you're going to collect all of those, and we put them into this big glass jar, and then we have all these fabulous door prizes that we give away, and then we've captured all their information and all their referrals. And then the biggest thing is to make sure that you take those pieces of paper, if you're going to do it paper wise, and then you take them home with you and you go through all of them, and then you connect them with the flooring person on an email. Hey, this is so and so. They said they might need flooring. I'm introducing you to Justin. He owns CQ Floors or whatever. And then that's how you get the referrals to your people.
And I'm telling you, just what does that create the 3 or 4 weeks after the event? You are the connector of all connectors. You are three-way texting. You are having all this awesome communication, and it's all referrals. You're either outgoing referring or you're incoming referring and talking to referral sources. So that entire month is about handling the referrals from the event. So, and
Okay,
by the
so
way,
it's not-
Carmen, that's just one.
Yeah.
In Event Mastery, I'm going to teach you 3. There's going to be the RSVP, ASAP referral system, and then the follow-up survey system. So I'm going to teach you 3 ways to get referrals through events.
Yeah, because that's been the challenge, is teaching our clients how to give us the information from their friends and family, right? Because there's like, oh yeah, we'll refer you, no problem. But they're like, yeah, I gave my info to my cousin. I'm like, no, you need to give me their info so I can call them.
Yeah, they won't do that sometimes. And Carmen, here's the answer to that, right? Is when they say, hey, listen, I gave your information to that person. It's like, you know what? I know you did. That's your answer. And they're like, oh, well, how do you know I did? And I'm like, well, you promised me you would. Right? I mean, you told me you would. You told me you would, and I know you would. So you know what? If the next time you talk to them, just have them call me. And then here's the thing that I'm telling you with events is I've never asked verbally for a referral in my entire life. Never. I wrote a book, literally the book on referrals.com. Never asked for a referral verbally in my entire life. You don't have to ask for them verbally when you're asking for them on paper or on a Google form, right? So there's no pressure. Carmen, when I'm in front of you, and you're a little intimidating. I mean, like you really are. Like I'm a little nervous right now. And it's like relax, it's okay. But I want you to know is that like if you want to create a referral culture and a referral economy within your sphere of influence. And the way to do that is at events when they know you want and need referrals, because so many people think, oh, you're so successful. You don't want referrals. You don't need referrals. You don't need my business. You don't want my help. And the truth
they
is,
always say we're too busy.
well, I don't know if they're saying that you're too busy, but the thing is I think it's one of those where when they see at your events that you have a place on that form for them to give referrals or not, they're at choice. They understand that you want and need referrals, maybe for the first time. So here's the thing. First event, they see it and they can't think of anyone. That's how it goes, right? At the next event, you know what they've been doing subconsciously for 60 days? They've been thinking, who can I put in that blank for Carmen? That's the truth. I've had people stand up at their work and yell, I have a referral for Michael finally. So that's how powerful this is they start understanding, and it's top of mind, and you build this two-way communication. And the thing is Carmen, like we don't know each other, right? But here's the thing. If I were speaking in SoCal in like 3 months, you would probably follow up with me differently than you not knowing where I'm speaking next. Would you agree?
Agree.
Right? That's what events do. Is if I know I'm going to see you in 60 to 90 days and I want to go to your events, I don't want to come empty-handed. There's accountability in this system of the series of events. It's not pushed. I'm not making anybody guilty. I'm not manipulating anybody. But the social psychology of this system will blow you away. Like they will want to give referrals, they will give you referrals, and they will like think about you all the time.
And it's the law of reciprocity or whatever, right? It's like
Yeah,
you're doing
generosity.
all these
Yep.
cool things for them. They want to help you at that point.
Right.
They're so excited to go to these really cool events. And I mean, once you get it going, like when I was standing on that yacht with people, they were just like, how are you doing this? How much did this cost? And then of course, we recognize the sponsors and we give away the door prizes. And I had one of my people say, oh, I get it. The sponsors are paying for this, huh? And I'm like, yep. And they're like, wow, that's so cool. Like, what's the next event? So they're just so excited.
Yeah.
And I see them all the time. So I do 4 events a year, 4 large events, and then like 2 micro events. And with the birthday cards and with the one-on-one that you teach in 7L with, going to coffee dates, going to lunch dates, it's like it's top of mind all the time. I mean, they can't forget about me, and I'm the least salesy person
That's
on the
right.
earth. I'm never going to ask for a referral, and it's
Which
blown
is
my
probably why you
business
get so
up.
many referrals, honestly.
Yeah.
Right? They know you're not going to push that agenda on the people they
I'm
refer
just
to.
gonna get out of this. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Kevin. Well, let me mute.
All
Okay,
right.
so
Well, thank you so much.
so I'm doing this really cool bounce house event, and no, just kidding.
Yeah.
Uh,
You lost
um,
me at Bounce House.
yeah, my questions actually are about the when you're asking for the sponsors to contribute. I guess I've got a mental block that obviously I need to get past because I know that they're always getting asked by everybody in the real estate boards and everybody about sponsoring events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So how receptive typically are they out the gate, or is there like a certain approach that you use to present it?
Yeah. So session in chapter 3 of Event Mastery, the entire 3rd session is sponsor mastery. I literally spend an hour on how to get sponsors. The short answer is that there are people that are begging to be involved in your events. That because number one is because you're involved, because you are going to endorse them. Don't underestimate the power of endorsing them. But here they're going to become, and they may tiptoe in, Kev, to be honest with you, right? They may tiptoe in. They may give you 100. They may give you a door prize. But once they're in and they realize you're going to become their number 1 lead generator, because you don't just generate referrals for yourself through the 3 referral systems. You also generate referrals for your sponsors. So when she said she got 69 referrals, well, only like 20 of those were for herself. The other 49 were outgoing referrals to the flooring, to the landscaper, to the whatever it may be, right? And just so you know, Kevin, here's what I do know. At your next event, you already have 1 sponsor. It's you and your real estate company, right? Make sure that's how we need to think about these differently. You think of your business as a circle, and we always think the event is a circle inside that circle. That's not how these are. Your real estate business is a circle over here. The event is outside, and it's a circle that is all its own. You are hosting a community event, right? You're going to invite your sphere. And also, because we're not calling a client appreciation event, RESPA, you can have any title, any closing attorney can sponsor any one of your events because it's not a real estate event. It's not a real estate event. It's just an event. It's a fun event. You're bowling, or you're going to a game, or you're hanging out on a yacht, or you're, whatever it may be. So I think that's a big thing. And like I said, the first one, you may have 1 sponsor, you may have 2 sponsors, you may have 3 sponsors. But and by the way, the number 1 way to get sponsors is to invite potential sponsors to your first event. Because when they see on that form you generating leads for here's another thing you could do. Let's say there's a financial planner you really want to be a sponsor. Like he's a brother from your fraternity, right? You've known each other, but he's just like, I don't know. On your forms, right? You're going to have, how would you like a financial planner to review your finances? Yes, maybe, no. If yes, who, right? And they circle yes or maybe. You have 12 referrals for your financial planner buddy after the event. and you go, hey, listen, I've got 12 people here who raised their hand and they're interested in financial planning services. Here's the deal. I'll make the connections, but you got to help me with the next event.
Nice.
Drop the mic, walk away, and do the moonwalk, right? Michael J. Woo, woo. All right.
We're a couple
So
minutes
basically,
over.
we're becoming event planners essentially.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on a second. So somebody asked earlier if Cherie had an assistant in the help. I want you to know something. An amateur party planner in your sphere of influence. Every single person here has a friend who is the best party planner ever. You know what you do? You partner with them. You're going to find that people come out of the woodwork and they want to help you throw this event. They want to help you do, and you're going to have no problem, especially after Event Mastery, you're going to have no problem finding people who volunteer to help with your event.
And I think the way you have to look at this too is, this kind of shifted for me last year, but 70% of my business is coming from these people that are going to my events. So this is my lead gen. I don't do open houses. I don't cold call.
Right.
I don't door knock. I do events, and I do the Perk Your Sphere program, which is it's all the same. And then I have you guys. You guys are my other 30% of my business. So that's it. So it's not like I'm having to go out and do my lead gen on top of this. Like, this is my lead gen. And the system is so easy to follow. And it's just like, boom, boom, boom. Here's your steps. Once you get it down, it's just like, it's easy. I mean, I'm by myself now. I don't have an assistant. It's just me doing it for the last 18 months or so. And it's like, I have my title person help me, my escrow person, my lender, all of my sponsors, they all help me get all this stuff together. So it's just kind of
Warranty is a great sponsor right now, by the way. The number 1 and 2 sponsors from last year, just so everybody knows, Warranty Rep, warranty company was number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, personal injury attorney was number 1 by a considerable amount. They were 10 times the dollar amount of the second sponsor.
Interesting. Okay.
Personal injury
questions. Do you have time, Michael, for 2 more questions?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Nellie?
Let me verify that actually.
Okay.
What is the time frame of the course, real quick?
Do what?
What is the time frame on your course starting March 11th? How many weeks?
It's 8 weeks.
8 weeks. Okay.
Every Tuesday and Friday at 2.
Gotcha.
And and here's the thing, like, we think of events as this big giant thing. If you have 8 weeks to do stuff, you can do like 10 small things a week, and you don't even, you're going to be able to do this stuff in less than an hour a week outside of class. And you don't have to buy anything either, right? You don't have to buy a software. I'm not selling you anything during the course. It's all free money. It's all things that are not going to cost you. Hopefully you know Canva a little bit. If you don't, by the way, it's better to have a friend who knows Canva than it is to know Canva. If you know what I'm saying, nod your head.
I do.
Right? I'm just telling you, there's people that are passionate about Canva, and you're like, hey, do my invitation. They're like, oh, invitation. Right? And it's like, I've got 1,000 templates. It's like, oh, good. I'm happy for you. So you go.
Nellie, did you have a question? Excuse me.
She's been waiting like forever too.
She has, and Eve is
patience.
next.
Nellie is fantastic.
And I really don't have patience. I'm doing pretty well, but I'm eager to listen to this information. Thank you so much. You're right down my alley. One thing that I wanted to ask you was, what would be your advice? Because I took my community out of Nextdoor, and I have my own community page on Facebook. And I know that I have to do my Facebook VIP group, but I'm afraid of doing too many groups and then having all these invitations. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to do events and post it on this group and then that group, because then they all just get kind of messy.
Don't do a community VIP group. Don't do a small group like that. Just communicate with everybody within your community page. Just communicate. What you do with your VIPs and MVPs, you're going to just invite them to private, exclusive events. Make it really cool. And then I think that's going to be good enough, right? I don't think you need necessarily a group of 150 or 100 or 50 people, and that's just more management, right? The more important, you did the more important thing. Get your sphere into a Facebook group as soon as you can. And the fastest way to get your sphere into a Facebook group is through an event. right? I cannot reinforce two things more than anything. Do an event. Because here's the thing. What if a competitor of yours, here's the thing. What's worse than driving through a neighborhood and seeing a friend of yours house with another agent's sign in the yard? Is that the worst? No, it's not the worst. What's the worst is when you get through driving by your friend's house and you drive into your own neighborhood, you pull in and they're the park in your neighborhood and another agent has everybody in your neighborhood at their event. I want you to imagine that for a second, right? Do this before your competitors do. And I want you to know, I just wrote a contract with a 150,000 person company this week who is investing in event mastery and wants it for their agents. So it's coming. It's like the events are coming. The events are coming. So just like get it done before your competitor does.
Eve, did you have a question? Then we'll wrap up real quick.
Yes. First of all, love finally being part of the event. Cherie, thank you so much. Amazing information about the event. That's one source of lead generation that I am very passionate about. So right to the point. Question to Michael. In a week, I'm organizing my first realtors mixer or happy hour, the event for the realtors. Mm-hmm. The first ever that I'm doing.
You're doing it for realtors?
Yes, for realtors from Northern New Jersey, New York,
Why?
and Brooklyn.
Can I ask why you're doing an event for realtors?
Sounds like referral partners.
Right? Referral partners. So we are, I'm getting together, well, in my case, Russian-speaking agents who have been helping each other in another project. Okay. And it's the way to communicate with our potential referral partners, New York, New Jersey, Staten Island. It's like we need each other.
So you're not competitors. You're collaborators. You're referral partners.
Hey, we're all competitors, and my way to my philosophy is I bring people together and I say, let's see how we can collaborate.
Yeah. Collaboration is the key to the top, right? All right. What's your focus?
So give me 3 hints how to make it the profitable success.
Number 1 is sponsors. Number 2 is charge admission, right? Number 3, you could, so those would be the 2 big ones, right? Is get a sponsor. I mean, a bunch of top agents hanging out, every warranty company and probably lender and probably title and probably warranty, or I said warranty, every inspector, you got a lot of people who would want to hang out and buy stuff for that. And then I think that's the 2 big ones, right? If you're not charging admission, I think you could. The other thing too is, what do you want out of it? So like for me, money was never the priority of the events, right? I wanted referrals. So what is your primary, what do you want out of it?
So money is not my priority. My priority is to get back to the position of being a connector in the community of the realtors.
You're it. That's it. So make sure you say something, right? So about 15 minutes in, grab a mic or something like that. And you're just going to say, hey, listen, I just wanted to thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. I'm, your name, say your name, where you're from. And that's really all I wanted to say is I just wanted to connect you all. I wanted to bring us all together so that we could collaborate and not compete. And listen, if you have any questions, let me know. But otherwise, that's what I wanted to do. So you need to, here's the thing. You instantly become more referable when you put a mic in your hand. You guys all might want to remember that. And how do you who's going to put a mic in your hand? Nobody, probably. But guess what? If it's your event, you can put a mic in your hand.
And guys, don't be intimidated by that because I'm a super introvert. So the first time I had to do that, I was like, oh my God. I thought I was going to throw up. I actually took a shot. We were doing wine tasting.
By the way, that's part of event mastery, right? It's 2 beers or a shot. before you speak.
I did 100%. And the first time sucked, but after that, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm just here. I'm so happy all these people are here. Thank you for being here. Thank you to, name all your sponsors if you're doing like a regular event like that, and give away your prizes and just have fun with it, because everybody takes themselves too seriously. I think all the people I've talked to about this, they don't want to do it because they're scared no one will show up and they're afraid to talk to people. And it's like, it's not going to happen. It's going to be fine. I promise you. And you're going to get a ton of business off of it.
Yep.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. And by the way, during Event Mastery, you can do a micro event or you can do a macro event. So you can do a sphere event or you can do an MVP VIP event. The system works for both.
So I'm interested in Event Mastery. It starts when I will be out of the country for the first week. Is there a system to catch up?
Recordings. If you're going to miss a week, the first week would be the week to miss.
Recordings.
Yeah. So we record it, right?
How many times per week is it? 2 times?
It's twice. And we have had a lot of success with early in the week class, late in the week accountability, and get everybody together for Q&A, right? So it's so high content early in the week, give you your action items or what we call power plays, give you 4 or 5 days to do them. And then on Friday, you're like, I really had trouble with this one. We come together with all the event masters and we figure out like how to get you to the next level. It's awesome to have what we do on Fridays because what a great way to end the week where you're like, I've got 8 out of these 10 things done. I'm a little shaky on these 2. You figure out how to do those 2. You get them done on Friday. You go do what you do on the weekend.
Well, the better way is to have the home buyer seminar that I plan to do on Friday evening on March 20th. So that's the timing.
Well, I love that. I want everybody to know that like these events are not real estate events, right? So now will they work for a home buyer seminar, home seller seminar? I did all those, right? I did Give Your Child a Chance, which was invest in a home when they're born and then, and then sell a rental property when they get ready for college. And then you're going to take that money, 1031 it into a townhome or a home at their college town and invest in their college town, right? So I've done all of those things, but I want you to know the number one events to do are fun events, bowling, drinking, wine, cheese, no bouncy houses.
No bouncy houses.
Okay.
Kevin, no bouncy houses.
Thank you. That's fantastic.
All right, guys.
Cherie, I just want to say,
No, go ahead.
Cherie,
I was just going to say, if you have any other questions for Michael, you can funnel them to me and I can get them to him. But I just thank you guys. I know we're way over, but totally worth it. We could be on here for hours. I think we're both super passionate about this, but thank you. Thank you for changing my business. Thank you for sharing this with my referral network. I really appreciate you. And I'm excited to do my events this year.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity and glad you have me. And here's what I love, right? Event mastery evolves all the time. And Cherie, you're an event master, right? Like there's like 7 new things in this event mastery that are going to make your jaw drop. And that's what I love about this. So
it's awesome.
Anyway,
Always
I appreciate all of you.
Thank you.
You know what I'm doing right now? I'm jumping on another Zoom about events.
Nice.
Literally, that's what I'm about to do.
Love it. Thank you guys.